Good morning, guys. It's time to talk about the epidemic that is your over-edited text messages to women on the dating apps. Because let me tell you guys, she can feel that energy. She knows you spent 15 minutes revising your message, and that comes across much differently than a guy who had the confidence to just send what first popped into his head and took him 5 seconds to type out, and then he just sent it. So we really need to talk about this because number one, it's quietly sabotaging your text game. And number two, and most importantly, what it reveals about yourself. Because this is the type of nuance I just really don't see the dating influencers on the internet talking about. Because what you're signaling when you spend 15 minutes revising your text message, you're signaling deep down subconsciously that you think she would reject the unedited version of yourself. The absurd, funny, quirky, weird dude. Because let's be honest here, we're all a little weird. And that's what makes us unique and human. But you think by showing that vulnerability up front that she'll reject you. And furthermore, it's you thinking of yourself as a thoughtful dude, but actually you're just masquerading as a control freak. That's what it's really getting at. And she can feel this energy. That's why the guys who spend 2 seconds writing up their text messages, saying the first thing that pops into their mind, get way more success on the apps than the dude. And it all goes back to the signal inversion theory that we've been talking about on this channel. You know, everything that has made you successful in your career, in your finances, in your social life, those traits are what's sabotaging you. And your text messages, when you spend 15 minutes editing them, come across as like corporate bland emails that you're sending to your boss. They come across as a LinkedIn message. And that's really the problem here, guys. You're treating it like a job application. You're treating the dating app, whether it be Hinge, Bumble, God forbid Tinder, you're treating it like LinkedIn. And then you wonder why no one responds. So this is just a type of nuance that I just don't see guys talking about. And that is exactly why we built the guy with the help of women, I must add. And that's why I think you really need to kind of get in the mode of just sending the first thing that pops into your mind. And that is what the guy will help you do, because it's not some AI generated text pickup line nonsense. No, it's way deeper than that. It goes way, way bigger. It is an AI texting coach, much different than ChatGPT, even Claude or Riz AI, something like that. So it will ask you, first of all, you send a screenshot, just like any other chatbot, for her profile. Then it will ask you, what are you thinking about sending? You pitch it what you think, and then it'll give you feedback and most likely tell you why you shouldn't send it and what to send instead. And the big thing here is that we're not hacking women. No, what we're doing is hacking you. We're getting you out of your own way, because otherwise you would self-censor yourself essentially and end up saying something that's just bland and boring. And again, this is communicated because basically it comes across as you not having confidence. That's the real story, man. And confidence is very different, obviously in person versus, text-based screen communication with these phones. But it's the digital equivalent of going to a bar and just, mumbling over your words, as I almost just did right there, So this is a really critical concept you have to start to understand, because this is what's going to change everything. So one action item, if anything, other than checking out the guy in the description, you just grab a free trial, test it out yourself. Trust me, it'll change your life. But one action item going forward for you, if you take away nothing else from this video, is just to send the first draft, man. And I also want to say, I think a lot of you guys don't want to send the first draft because you're worried about coming across as weird or creepy. And that's basically every guy has had that fear at one point or another when it comes to approaching women or being on the apps. And the only thing I have found in my life that's actually helped me make a mindset shift and not even be concerned about this, quite frankly, is the book Models by Mark Manson. He talks about how, listen, at a certain point in time, every guy, whether you're Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise, every guy is going to be perceived as weird or creepy by a woman, even if objectively he didn't do anything weird or creepy. It's just bound to happen. It's something you can't control. So don't even try to control it. Yeah, some people will think the messages are weird or absurd or ridiculous and won't be into it. Okay. You just filtered that poor match out. Because if she wasn't going to be fun, you know, from the get-go, then how do you think it's going to be a year from now? And that's another thing. You're afraid to be absurd and ridiculous and just your own genuine self. But how do you think things are going to be 6 to 12 months from now? You think you can still keep up this act? It's not going to be possible, man. It's simply not. So that's what it is. And then it also comes down to one of the previous videos I made. Oop, I don't know what happened. All right, we're back. It comes back to one of the previous videos I made where it's this form of benevolent sexism, nice guy sexism, as I'm going to call it, because you're assuming that if you're essentially what you're assuming is that she can't handle the real you. That's what it is. And so you have to edit yourself because you're treating her almost like a child. You're not treating her like a human being at that point. You're not treating her like a person. You're treating her, like a puzzle to be solved. So hopefully these mindset shifts help you. This is the whole reason why I'm putting out this content. And guys, I don't want to come off as lecturing you. Trust me, I was making all the mistakes. I was spending 15 minutes on every single message. And guys, at the end of the day, if nothing else convinces you to make the change it just for the fact that, dude, it is a horrible return on investment to spend 5, 10, even 15 minutes on one of these messages. And then, you know, like your response rate's like 30 to 40% probably, until you get the guy and it goes to like 60, 70, maybe even 80%. So dude, you know what to do. Check out the guy, get feedback on your messages, and see how you can start improving. It's a free trial. You've got nothing to lose. Trust me. Link in the description. That's all for me in this one, fellas. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you have any questions, drop a comment. We'll get back to you. See you in the next one. Peace.